Hello, friends. Stacy Anfinson here with your Torreport market update for September. A little late this month, so appreciate your patience. Let's dig in and see what happened. Talking about inventory, we're in a nice upward trend. You can see the blue line is end of month total inventory, and the red is resale inventory. So the total was up 39% compared to September last year, and the end of month resale was up 47%. But while the trend is upward, you can see we are significantly below where we were, almost a fourth in terms of resale inventory. So, as we've discussed before, population has come in. It's the opposite of this graph. If you were to put that population graph on top of it, you'd see it be going up. So, welcome trend in inventory, but we still need a lot more. Now we're going to add one this month in terms of listings added during the month. We're going to go back to September of 18, so this will be an apples to apples comparison. The blue line again is the total listings added during the month, and the red line is the resale listings. Once again, seeing double-digit growth, plus 11 in total and plus 12 in resale. And actually, we did finally have a period where we beat another period. So 1956 resales added in September of this year. We actually beat a month. So you have to go all the way back to September of 2018 to have a lower month. So help is on the way. Percent of end of month listings with at least one price drop from original. Once again, this is a stat that gets a tremendous amount of press in national, whatever source you're doing. They seem to lock on this and they kind of use it as a, hey, here comes the house price bubble. And if you were to look at just the blue lines, starting from January and going to September, we were at 31% of end of month listings in January. It had at least one price drop, and we're up to 44% in September. A lot of people would look at that and say, oh my gosh, the sky is falling. But fortunately, you are listening to me, and I can give you some perspective. Go back to September of 22, 48%, 39% in September of 23, and 44% in September of 24. So our current percentage is in line with prior Septembers. Lots of different reasons for it, but I just like the seasonality of it. So let's blame it on September and not that the world is falling apart. I'm going to look at a page from the Atlanta Fed. They've got a housing affordability index. Stay with me for a while. It takes a little bit to pull this thing up. This is national homeownership affordability for the United States. You can see this affordability threshold is right here. And ever since February of 2021, which is really when we saw house prices peak, we've seen this affordability index go down. If you want a little locality for that, we're going to scroll all the way to Raleigh-Durham. It's not going to change much, but they do keep track of pretty much every major metropolis in there. And you can see we're well below the threshold in terms of, if you were to compare that first chart with this chart. So it is kind of what I'm going to come up with next is a little bit counterintuitive. If in theory, if something is not affordable, something should not be purchased, right? Well, let's go to the next slide here, and here's our average sales price. Well, if our house prices are so unaffordable, why do they keep going up? So up 5% in September of this year versus where we were last year. We finally clipped the 500,000 mark for the 4 main counties. We're up 76% compared to 2018. So a little bit of a economic conundrum there in terms of why that's happening. You can look at the sales, though, if you want to say that here's where affordability really shows up. It's in the sold listings. We're down 6% in September of this year versus September of last year. Down 44% in terms of the peak September, which was in 2020. But you can go back to 2012 and pretty much every year between 2008 and 2012, September of this year beat. So not all gloom and doom for that. But you can see that that would be one of the areas where you could say affordability has an influence on. Once again, put the graph up in terms of monthly principal and interest payment as applied to the average sales price. This right side of it, starting with the gold bars, is January of this year. We're at September of this year, so a little under $3,400 in September of this year. A little over $3,200 in January. That's an increase of 5%. I've got May highlighted here because that's the high water mark in terms of the period that I'm analyzing, a little over $3,700. Then if you go back, these are all the Septembers going back from 2018 to 2024. You can see we're actually down compared to where we were last year. So you can make the argument, here's one other thing, if house prices are so unaffordable, this is kind of seeing where this metric is going down, and this will certainly make the affordability index look a little bit more favorable as we go forward. But the thing that I kind of look at with absolutely stunned amazement, if you go back to September and September of 2019 and September of 2020, we're about $1,500 per month in terms of that metric, and now it's gone up 2x. Just an amazing increase in 5 years. So obviously we've had an influx of people who have the economic demographics to pull this off. Quickly now, the blue line now is the sold inventory ratio. The red line is the months of inventory. So the blue line is the number of listings divided by the number of sold, and you can see during the peak years we were above 100%. It typically is never even close to that. If you go back to 2018 and 2019, it's usually around 50%. A little bit lower this year at 49%. That's actually the lowest in the period. A bunch of different reasons for that. You can pick the reason you want. It probably wouldn't be incorrect. But what you can see, as I've shown on this graph before, as this blue line goes down, months of housing supply goes up. And that's essentially 3 is kind of the end of the road for undersupplied. We really want to get back to 4, 5, or 6 months. So we're trending in that direction, which is good. And now we go to September months of housing supply. September was the 9th consecutive month where we have an undersupply of housing. But maybe next month we're gonna get to 4. I'm pretty sure we're trending in that direction. We certainly don't want to get back to the Great Recession areas where we had 12 months of supply, but we'd have to get back to a balanced market. And we've got average days on market. This is strange. If you go from 2014 to 2015, for that metric to go from 106 to 50 is just odd. But if you look at where we are, going back to 2015, we're at 50 days on the market. We're at 42 here. Once again, the bubble of the fear mongers would look at 2021 to 2024 and go, oh my gosh, look what's happening to days on market. It's going crazy upward. Well, it really isn't if you look at things from a perspective standpoint. That's really what I'm trying to convey to you as you watch this. I take it all the way back to 2007. You really have to look at, especially because COVID influenced so many of the metrics, you really have to go back over an extended period of time to kind of make sense of things. September sold listings, average sales to original list price ratio. It's getting back to 98 where it was. That's kind of a healthy market. 104 back in September of 2021 was the high watermark for that. I doubt we'll ever see that again. And so we're going to wrap things up. Bullet point number 1, September end of month inventory is up 39%. Resale listings up 47%. Total listings added up 12. Resale listings added up 11. Number 2, the percentage of EOM listings with at least one price drop is the highest during the year, but it is in line with prior Septembers. Once again, bullet point number 3, months of housing supply is undersupplied territory. Number 4, the sales to original list price ratio is trending back to historical norms. And number 5, the average days on market for sold listings is trending upwards, but it is going back to historical norms. So that's what we've got right now. Once again, if you do not know, please like this. Please subscribe to the Torport YouTube channel. These are the services that I provide. Appraisals for mortgage, relo, attorneys, sellers, buyers. Anybody needs an unbiased third-party opinion and value, I'm your guy, and we have capacity. Obviously, subscribe to the Torport, and I do provide consulting services. So that's all I've got for now. I look forward to talking with you about the market next month.